Well, here we are again. It's Flashback Friday, and I have another little project for you. Look at this one. This one is called In Time. In Time. And I love the cover. I love this art because we had some stuff, some things that we had in merchandise that we sold on the road with this. I think this is a great sort of feature of my features, shows my features up very well, you know. Actually very flattering. But the album is called In Time. Now, this particular song, I have a little story for you. This story is about a gentleman who wrote the song. You know, he's one of the writers as well, but he's wrote a lot of great songs like More and, you know, In Time, and his name is Norman Newell. And when I was in the business, early in the business, and I had no hit records or anything like that. And I did have record contracts with other companies. So the man who was the my A&R manager was Norman Newell. So I went up to Norman one day when I owed rent on my flat in London. I said, Norman, can I have some advance on my royalties? He says, you have no royalties. He said, there's nothing there, there's nothing sold. So anyway, he says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a personal check, and when you got your money, pay me back. I said, that's very kind of you, Norman, and I certainly will. So he writes a check for me, and I pay my bill, I pay the rent of the flat, and everything's fine. Now, that's not the first time. Now, another quarter comes up, and I haven't got any money for that because I haven't been working, I haven't got anything. So once again, I go and I ask Norman for, you know, if he can help me out, and he does it again, and he does it again, and again, and again, you know, every quarter, and until release came along, and I was able to, you know, pay my rent or even buy a house. So, because that was the big one, you know, that was the big one, really helped me out a great deal. And anyway, to tell you the truth, I never paid Norman his money back. And so when I recorded Release Me, I went up to Gordon Mills, my manager, and I said, listen, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to use some of Norman Newell's songs on my next album. And he said, sure, let's do that. He said, because he's a good writer and he's everything. So we started getting songs from him, and this is the first one. It was In Time. So I said, and then we recorded a few others of his, you know, and I still hadn't paid him back. And I was at the Talk of the Town in London, and I bumped into Norman Newell, and I said to him, Norman, I feel so embarrassed. I haven't paid you your money back. He says, you've paid me back 1,000 times and 10,000 times more than I gave you. He said, you don't have to worry about that. So the royalties that he, you know, from his songs paid him back a great deal more money. And I was very happy about that. You know, I was very happy because he was a wonderful man. He was a wonderful man. And that's my story about Norman, a wonderful person. God rest his soul, you know. In Time, that's the name, In Time. In time you may forget your smile, and in a while you may forget I need you. Da 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 da. It's very romantic, you know, very danceable and everything. So if you get the album, play that and have a little dance with your partner, okay? Now the next song, this next song is called Too Beautiful to Last. Probably one of the great melodies you'll ever hear in your life, because it has intervals that are very difficult to sing. You know, you have to really sing it in pitch in order to be da 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 da. I'm in the wrong key, but it has a lot of intervals that you have to really pitch in and pitch properly, otherwise you sound bloody awful. But in this case, I did sing it good, and it's a beautiful song. I want you to listen to it. It's called Too Beautiful to Last, and it kind of applies to a lot of things, that statement. The next one is Close to You, and of course that was written by the great Burt Bacharach, who wrote all those wonderful melodies. And this, Close to You, I think this one, the Carpenters had a great big hit with this, you know. By the way, talking about the Carpenters, I was the first one to have them in my show. You know, before they were known, they opened for me, and they were a great opening act, and at that time, and they became a great top of the bill act after they'd been with me. You know, that was wonderful. Beautiful people, by the way. They were beautiful people. And Karen was absolutely adorable. I love her. And by the way, she's one of my favorite female singers ever. I mean, she makes your blood run cold when she sings. She's the hair stand up, and you feel a great deal of warmth when she sings. It's an amazing singer. I'm glad I recorded this song as well, because as I've mentioned before in other albums, that when a song is great and the lyric content is marvelous, everybody wants to record it, you know, and most of the big names in show business recorded Close to You, the Burt Bacharach song. This next song is fantastic. I can't live if living is without you. I can't live anymore. Great song. Oh my God. See, I wish they'd write songs like that recently, you know, lately. I mean, the melodies are now going a bit too, I can't remember some of the songs I hear now. If you ask me to hum the melody after I've heard the song, I couldn't, you know, because it's a little way out, you know, but music is melodic, and melody is what counts. And we have to hear a good melody so that you can remember the song, you know, and that's how I feel about music and about the kind of songs that I want to sing. I want people to be able to hum my song or sing my songs or remember the melody, you know, where it's going. It's, I mean, not too simple, but enough to make it interesting, you know. This next song that I'm going to talk about, I want you to guess who the writers are. Oh, perfect. Les Reed and Barry Mason. How did you know? Yeah, well, the song is called Girl of Mine, and it's a country type of song, and I love this song. And this song was also in my show for a very long time. And it still comes back in every now and again. I drop it into the show because it has just great content, and I love it. Oh, girl of mine, turn out the light, and in my arms together we'll make love tonight. See where the lyrics are going. Beautiful. Thank you, Les and Barry, for that another wonderful song to add to my repertoire, to my songs, to my albums, to my future, to my life. Thank you. Love you people. Time after time, time after time. I can't quite remember the melody so clever, so I'm not going to try to sing it for you. In Time, of course, is the title of the album. That's the next track on here. And I'm Together Again is the next one. Life Goes On is the next one. I'm not going to sing each song, each title, because, you know, but I do want you to do me a favor and have a listen to each track that I mentioned, okay? And if you can't remember it, just save the video and go back and say, oh, he talked about Time After Time, he talked about In Time, he talked about I'm Together Again, A Life Goes On. But I do remember this next one. Les Reed and Barry Mason wrote, I Never Said Goodbye. I talked about this. No. Yes, I had. It's called Where There's No You. A guy had words with his wife, and he never said goodbye, and he goes to his work, and then he gets a call to say that you know, she's gone. Have I not talked about this one before? Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, if you're sure, then I know you're right, because, you know, this is the one. This is the song that says, never said goodbye, never really told her just how much she means to me. I never said. This is the one that has the apron on the chair and the perfume in the room, because they had an argument. The man and wife had an argument, and he'd gone out, and then while he's at work, he gets a phone call to say that his wife had been killed, and he just felt very, very upset because he never said goodbye in the proper manner that he usually says. Goodbye, darling. In the morning when you say goodbye, darling, I'll see you tonight for dinner, but he never said goodbye to her. And when he walked into the house that they lived in, he could smell her perfume, and he could see her apron on the chair, and her shoes lying in an abstract way on the floor. And it's a very, very painful lyric. This is the one. This is the song that I cannot and I would not sing on stage, because there's no way I could keep my feelings together. I would break down and cry. But it's worth putting on the album because it's worth listening to. But to sing it on stage was a very difficult task. But Les Reed and Barry Mason, again, thank you for making my life filled with wonderful songs, okay? That you, Les, and Barry wrote. And thank you very much indeed. God bless you both, okay? I Never Said Goodbye is the last song on this album, called In Time, that Norman Newell had something to do with, and Les Reed and Barry Mason, and Burt Bacharach, people like that, and Hal David, who wrote a great song. Oh, here's one. Here's a great song. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. You remember that one? Wow! I didn't mention that. I didn't mention that. Baby, I love that song. I love that song. And you know what? I want you and I need you next week for the next one. Okay? God bless you. See you next week. Bye-bye.
I try to be the best I can and try to understand. Angel on my shoulder, the earth beneath my feet. I'm a lucky, lucky man.